Cacao ceremony sounds like a thing an old white guy might call taking a coffee shit.
Paper moon, it's the paper moon. Need some cool books, look no further than the paper moon. This is an unpaid advertisement. Paper, paper, paper moon. That's the end of the song.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Joshua,
My name is Ericawa.
and this is Live from the Moon, where we chat with artists we love to find out why they're so cool.
Hell yeah.
Today, we're chatting with the one and only Reckless Barb. We're talking about his new album. We're talking about cacao ceremonies. We're talking about poetry, playing drums, writing songs. Why he's like the coolest, most chill guy ever. But first, Eric, what's happening? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just got done with a 3-hour nap. It feels like a pretty major lifetime accomplishment.
That is
You know?
major. I had an amazing nap earlier this week.
Hell yeah.
I only get like one nap day a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was excellent. It was while I was watching the new Alien TV show. Have you seen this new TV show, the Alien TV show,
No.
based off the movie Alien? It's a prequel to the movie Alien, and it's really great. But I slept through 2 episodes.
Nice. Is it a sequel to Prometheus?
It's a prequel to the first movie, so wherever that first movie
Gotcha.
stands in the timeline. But it is the official start of spooky season.
Hell yeah.
What does spooky season mean to you? What was like your introduction to horror movies? Did you go
Oh,
trick or treating?
Yeah, I was trick-or-treating all the time as a kid. I was a ninja for like 5 years. I also, as a child, dressed up as Paul O'Neill, the Yankees player, and Jimmy the King from hit movie Ready to Rumble 2000.
Nice.
No one got that one, but I guess Halloween. I don't know. I have metalhead parents, so
You
it was
sure
like
do.
I feel very inverted from. I talk to a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I don't really fuck with Christmas because like my parents are religious or whatever." I don't really fuck with Halloween like that because I'm like, that's my mom's holiday.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Also, it's all just kind of the same to me because I have metalhead parents. So
Yeah,
it's like,
just another day in the household.
yeah, there's just skeletons up year round. You know, we're chilling.
What was your introduction to horror movies?
I don't even remember. I don't know what counts. Like over the weekend, I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space with a group of people,
Classic.
and I don't think that nothing in that movie felt horrifying to me.
Right.
You know?
That's like more of like a camp classic, which kind of like falls into like the Halloween spirit,
Right.
where it's like, yeah, we're like dressing up like horror characters, but then it's still like funny and like funny haha.
Yeah.
Like Freddy Krueger. I just like remember Freddy Krueger being like the cultural icon. It's like nowadays we have like Sabrina Carpenter, but like in the late 80s we had like people had pictures of Freddy Krueger up on
Mhm.
their wall, which I find like we don't have too much of that nowadays, like horror pop icons. Well,
Yeah.
that's a lie because we have the clown from that movie, the
It.
Terrifier.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have the Terrifier. We have
Yeah.
Annabelle.
Oh yeah,
I think it's just the quality has gone down quite a bit.
right.
You know?
And they're not screaming bitch
No,
at every moment.
not at all. What was your intro to horror movies?
Yeah, well, like same with you, where your parents are just into horror movies.
Mm,
My parents were also into horror movies and like in their 20s when I was a child. So like also in the 90s, I don't know. Yeah, there were kids movies, but my mom was taking me to see just like whatever she wanted to see.
yeah.
And then just like there weren't like, oh, he can't see this because he's too young or whatever. I mean, they would cover my eyes if there were titties on the screen. But like, yeah, I just would watch all of the horror movies. I have like great memories when the movie Scream
Yeah.
came out. That was definitely like Wes Craven. He's back, and he's like back like he never left. Just like teens like murdering each other, and yeah. So I guess yeah, my introduction to horror, it was always there. And that just
Yeah.
like turned me into a little freak that just like loves horror movies like 24/7, like summertime horror movies, wintertime horror movies, but like especially like in October where it's like a world like it's okay to like watch horror movies every day.
Yeah.
So
See, I
yeah.
think it had the opposite effect on me where horror just became like a thing a movie can be.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of neutral on it.
Mm.
So we were talking about me and a couple of friends doing like a Halloween like movie viewing. And fuck the horror movies. I want to watch the entire Halloween Town cinematic universe. That to me is like the great film from Halloween.
See, that's like that's already like before or after my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like explain Halloween Town.
Halloween Town is a wonderful series of really well made films where this there's a mom and she sucks. And she has two children and they're teenagers. And one child who's a little child, whatever you call those. And it turns out the whole time that they are witches. And the mom doesn't want to admit it because her ex-boyfriend is like an evil witch dictator. But the grandma is like, yo, you guys got to get on this witch shit. It's way cooler than being mortal.
Right.
And she hops on this bus to Halloween Town, and all the kids like follow her and have to live their little witching destiny. And it's not scary at all. But like, there's a taxi driver who's a skeleton, and he just wisecracks about bones all the time. And that's what Halloween is about, you know?
Right. It sounds a little Nightmare Before Christmas
Yeah.
esque,
Yeah. Very much in that vein.
which is like it's just always great to think about like different towns like that are themed after holidays.
Mhm.
Like, is there a 9/11 town? Is there
It's just all short buildings.
yeah, what would like President's Day town look like? Or like Martin Luther King town? Like what would be in there?
I can think of so many follow ups and none that work. I think Labor Day town would be cool because everyone would be working. So the
Or
traffic would be good.
or would they not be working? Because isn't Labor Day like the day like you like take off of work? So then like
Yeah.
I don't know. So then is everybody not working except for one day? Maybe they work on the holiday,
Mm. Kind of like Christmas,
kind of like Christmas
the North
Town.
Pole.
Yeah, that
Who
is.
knows?
Yeah, who knows? That is weird though in Christmas Town having just like everybody is chilling except for like the elves that have to like make all the gifts.
Yeah, the elf slaves.
Yeah, the elf slaves.
It's got to be fucked up uh, to be like the Nightmare Before Christmas tree now in like the social media holiday marketing world where every day is like a different holiday.
Hmm.
Because they've had to spawn like the National Boyfriend's Day tree. That's
Right.
gotta suck.
Yeah, or the National Girlfriend's Day.
Yeah,
You know
the National Non-Binary Friends Day.
exactly.
Like, there's Jack Skellington now has to like take a stroll through National Espresso Day town, and that fucking sucks. That's where they're doing the cacao ceremony, and he doesn't even know what to be singing anymore.
I know. I mean, yeah, that's the best thing I love about Reckless Barb is that he's always like dropping new vibes onto my head. So like we're like I just learned about what a cacao ceremony is. Well, like yeah, I haven't gone into it yet, but I know it exists and that it's gonna happen inside of Paper Moon, and like just because Reckless Barb is hyped about it, like I'm also hyped about it,
Hell
and
yeah.
I just like know it's gonna be like the chillest thing ever. We were also kind of talking about before recording about like finding your audience.
Yeah,
And you have already sold out your first printing
I
of
have
your book.
problematically so.
Yeah. So like what's your audience looking like right now as a freshly published author?
I think that I have a tendency to appeal to women and non-binary people in their 20s without their shit together. Um, which is a relatively easy audience to find. It's a very difficult audience to monetize because they don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think that's really. I think I've tried to work the art to a place where um, the audience for it is like so built into the production of it because of a level of sort of authenticity and not trying. I think I do. There's like inside of me, there is two wolves, and the one wolf is like a smart career person who's like, you have to sell this to someone, and the other one is a curmudgeonly artist who's like, no one should fucking like this, and I'm gonna make it for no one. And that appeals to a certain type of person, you know?
Right, no, for real. And it's like it's really difficult, like especially as a young artist, when you're trying to find your audience. There's a moment where you have to sit back and reflect, like, is this my audience or are these just all my friends? And like there is a point where your friends are gonna like stop thinking you're like super impressive, and then
Yeah.
you actually have to find the audience, which is tough and terrifying, especially if you're two funky guys like us.
Yeah.
We're just like doing different stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
it's
fucking around
just
and hoping
like
something lands. Yeah.
I know it is kind of like less about finding the audience, but like finding the audience comes second. It's like doing what we like to do first.
Hmm.
And then like if people fuck around with it, you know, then we'll do something opposite the next time. But yeah, I get that a lot. I've got a lot of new authors that come into the shop all the time, and they come in, they say, "Hey, here's my book. I've sold it to all my friends. Then what's next?"
Hmm.
And that's always like a difficult next step where the only answer is just to keep going, keep calling
Yeah.
bookstores, keep calling uh, just everybody, just keep it going. It's just like one of those things where you just like gotta never give up.
Yeah. I do think there's a legitimacy to that split where you can really tell when an artist is presenting you with a work that's where they had some thought in it that was business minded. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it gets really boring, you
Yeah,
know?
that is true. I mean, yeah, it is important to find your audience, but then, yeah, exclusive. Yeah, but then the rest of us, we can tell that you're just
Hmm.
like catering to just like one side instead of making something that could like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think very few people, it's a truly unique talent to be able to do something artistically manipulative and make it work, you know?
Right.
Um, you do a better job finding an internality, I think, and expressing it. But then on the other end, I find a lot of people's approaches to the business of art to be very frustrating.
It really
Um,
is.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, packaging things, making
yep,
commercials. After we record this podcast, I'm gonna try to make a little commercial to try to sell some of my friends' tapes.
hell yeah.
And but yeah, and it's not really a lot of this stuff is not reinventing the wheel. It's just yeah, going Mad Men style and just yeah,
Hmm.
marketing some stuff. Um, since we got Reckless Barb on the podcast, what's your relationship with psychedelics?
Never tried them. Yeah, I was reflecting on this on the way. I think I have too much ADHD and too much paranoia. Um, I've considered DMT because I understand it's quick, but I think otherwise it's never really crossed my mind except for a brief period as a teenager. Um,
Yeah, that peer teenage pressure
yeah.
will get you.
Well, and I think it had the opposite effect on me where people started describing what psychedelics were like, and I was like, I don't think I need that.
Oh,
You
I
know?
mean, I think you skipped the adolescence part of growing up and then skipped right to curmudgeon-y.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're like, oh, well, if they all like it, and if all these idiots like it, then it's
Yeah.
definitely not going to be for me.
It was definitely that. I wasn't hearing good experiences from people for the most part. Um,
But that's like that's part of the fun. You have like a really bad trip and then like it makes you like reflect on
yeah.
why was the inside of your brain frightening? Which I had like a eighth grade earth science teacher describe psychedelics as like um your brain is like an onion and all your memories are layers of the onions, and what psychedelics does, it goes right to the center of that onion
Mhm.
and makes you like reflect outwards, which is yeah, pretty frightening if you've never reflected on anything before.
Mhm.
And at like 18 years old, why would you reflect on anything? But taking psychedelics really really makes you reflect.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that was part of the equation that I skipped was like I never it wasn't so much that I went directly to curmudgeonly so much as like I never was skipping past the point of reflection because I was raised
Right.
by old people. Um Also, I started dating somebody who was very scared of hard drugs, so I think that influenced some stuff. But
Yeah, I think yeah, that can definitely because I was the oldest child of the oldest child, so then I was the oldest cousin and the oldest brother.
yeah,
So then it was kind of like up to me. And then like at the time my dad was like 26, 27. So like he's just going to work, coming home.
hmm
He's not reflecting on anything really. So
yeah,
like yeah, so it was up to me to try all the psychedelics and then report back for my trips and travels. And yeah, I think it's great. And Congress should definitely do something to like legalize it,
yeah.
especially with people with like PTSD. And I mean, we're sending kids to war, and then we have like nothing really to like
Help.
help them when they get
Yeah,
back, and then they just end up with that long stare in their eyes, which is yeah, really unfortunate. But yeah, I think psychedelics could help.
yeah.
So yeah, so without further ado,
We'll
I think
wrap
it's
this up,
time
Barbs.
to bring on the reckless Barb, and
Hell
he'll
yeah.
explain more to you.
About psychedelics.
Yeah, psychedelics, music making, being super chill and awesome all at the same time. We'll be right back. Peace.
Are you tired of the same old dusty paperbacks? Then zip on down to Paper Moon Bookstore, where every shelf is an adventure. Located at 42 4th Street in downtown Troy, Paper Moon's got spine-tingling horror from Clash Books, globe-trotting tales from Archipelago, eye-popping art books from P.S. Hudson, and so much more. Are magazines your thing? They've got the latest from Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Essence, Rolling Stone, Aperture, Paris Review, The Drift, and more, hot off the press. Don't settle for the ordinary. Step into the extraordinary at Paper Moon Bookstore. That's 42 4th Street, downtown Troy. See you there.
What a journey. What a journey we're on. Well, I'm just going to hope this battery doesn't die. We probably have a good amount of time on it. And yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bye, Josh. Have fun.
I'm gonna hang out here.
Nice. All right, welcome back.
Double check. Double check. Make sure we're recording. All right, we're recording.
We're keeping that in. Welcome back to the Paper Moon Podcast, live from the moon. We are here with Reckless Barb, who is usually behind the camera, but he's currently in front of the camera. How'd you get here?
Dude, it was a really fucking crazy journey. Like, I was over there
Yeah,
and it was almost like without moving, I'm here. I transferred in. Like,
just
being
like
here.
ethereally,
Yeah, particles and such.
as it happens.
Yeah.
So, what is a cacao ceremony?
All right. So, I've done them a few times. I'm not technically qualified to perform them. I
Mm,
believe you have to be truly indigenous to like South America, Central
mm,
America, probably other places that I don't know about, but it's some sort of tradition from that culture that binds people communally
mm.
through the spirit of cacao, which is this natural bean chocolate. We all know cacao, chocolate,
Yeah.
cacao beans. This is a little different. This is more like specific type of plant that when you take it, it
Mm,
opens up arteries around your heart, and I think allows for a more connective experience. Um, I've done a few of them with some homies, and they're always beautiful, connective, um, and I really like the way that people open up.
mm.
And it's nice to have that sort of reflective experience. So on November 1st, I'm having kind of a private one here at the Paper
Hell
Moon,
yeah.
and I don't really. I'm still scheming what I think it'll look like and what I want it to be. Caps, gonna do some RSVPs, gonna make
Mm.
sure that people are coming. Can't have it just open door vibes, but probably just want to create a little communal time. Talk to people, tell people, you love them, experience loving room, and
Mm.
just have that openness. And then if you want to stick around and listen to some of my music, let's do that. Because
Hell yeah.
it comes out on my album comes out on November 2nd, so I'm really just trying to put a good spirit into it.
What do you think is more addictive, the cacao or the album?
For me, the album, but generally the cacao is fantastic. And I know that I usually have more than one cup, so yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, you drink it.
You drink it.
Hell
You
yeah.
drink it. You drink it, it's warm, I guess best enjoyed warm. And you pat it. I like it when, everyone gets their own cup. It's a nice
Mm.
vibe, but you can also pass a cup around and everybody takes a sip, and there's many ways to do it. Do however you want to, but it's really, yeah, it's beautiful. I like it.
It's
I like the
crazy
vibes.
insane coffee.
Yeah. Let's not call it coffee. Let's create the divide. Let's separate it.
Um, how was your summer?
Great, dude. Look at this. I'm not even rocking my
Hell
fucking
yeah.
not even rocking my fucking finger thing anymore. My summer feels like it was I cannot believe it's over and it feels like it went by so quick, but it was necessary. The injury, the experiences, all necessary, I feel like, to cultivate the being that I feel like I am
Mm.
today.
When did you do your first album listening?
A year ago in October, probably like October 24th or something like
Mm.
that, 23rd ish, at the old Paper Moon, down on 4th Street. And it was the poetry gang, the poetry night takeover at the end. We
Hell yeah.
listened to the album top to bottom, first time anyone ever heard it outside of a very select few. And it was so cool, dude. It was so cool. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe it's coming
Yeah.
out. I'm so ready to have this into the world and hopefully let it connect with the people that need to hear it.
Talk to me about the name. What is Now I Am My Life? What does that mean?
Oh, dude, that's a big one for me. That is a phrase that came to me in, I want to say, 2022. I was staying at my friend's out towards Rochester, kind of in the more woodsy area,
Mm.
sleeping on the floor, having a really just relaxed time overall. I had a dream that night, and it was a old man, like Ram Dass as an old man in his like Hawaiian garden, just repeating the phrase, "Now I am my life." I don't know what that is. That's
Mm.
just what my experience was. He just kept saying it, and then I opened my eyes in the morning, and then I started saying it, and I was like, I gotta write this down. And that's it. I don't know, that's where it started. And then tried to figure out from there what it meant to me and what
Mm.
it meant overall. And it became kind of like my like rock of a phrase to bring me back to reality and help me, figure out
Yeah.
which paths to go down.
What does it mean to you to be your life?
Um, what does it mean to be my life? I think it's an action. I am my life.
Mm.
I don't think it has. I don't think it is. I don't think it goes further than that necessarily. I think the act of doing it now is the urgency of
Mm-hmm.
this right now, not where you're going, not where you were. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, those things do mean something and are important, but this right now is your life.
Mm-hmm.
And framing it like that for me has helped really um, put into perspective like what I'm doing and what like at presently
Mm-hmm.
at any given moment. Like that is important and that is actually your life. Like what you're doing is your life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do perspectives mean on the album?
Um Angles of looking at this thing that's happening. This like experience that you're having
Mm.
as a human.
Is there sort of a revelatory moment of perspective for you, or is it a slow building thing?
Um I think it happens over time and is apt to change, but for me, I feel like I did have like a revelatory moment, which is so crazy. But I really for real did. I had a really I just had like a really crazy time. I wrote the original poem Splash back in
Mm.
2017, and then a few months later, I was working at a coffee shop, so I was up late, caffeinated, um, and I was just thinking about I just graduated college that year, and I was just like, what is going on?
Mm.
What am I doing? What is my purpose? What do I care about? What is all of this stuff? I felt not lost at all really because I was going and I was
Mm.
definitely going, but I didn't really know for what, for why, for how, for like anything. No answers
Mm.
really. And spiritually, I had been in a place where I was coming back to myself and coming back to like thinking more deeply about that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just went to bed, bro, for real, thinking about black holes and thinking about like the cosmic nature of things and connectivity and all that. And I woke up with this infused knowledge that I can't explain of just like my angles and my like understanding of like life and what it is and
Mm.
that kind of thing. Just to whatever degree. I mean, it's always growing, but like, ooh, that was revelatory, like
Yeah.
without question for me. Like, whoa.
What was the most recently written song on the album?
Um, I think the last one was Series of Days.
Mm.
Not lyrically, but in the form of it and the way it came out. I knew that it had to find its right shape,
Mm.
and I think it did. That's also the one I get the most. I've gotten some feedback like it's a little like it kind of has an uneasy feeling to it.
Mm.
But that's kind of the goal because it's like the existential scream of like reality hitting you that like life is a series of days.
Mm.
Like ah
Yeah. 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 Why is that a scream for you?
uh because I think it's easy to forget and easy to not acknowledge that days pass by and time's happening, and when it becomes like a reality, it is easy to be overwhelmed by.
Mm.
But I think that's like okay, because I think on the other side of that is the end of the song, which is like really positive, like message about like uh coming back to the present again.
Mm.
You know.
Are days important to you?
Yeah. I think. I mean, I think that's what we got. I
Mm.
think we got days.
Are days representative of the present to you?
Do days represent the present? I don't know if days represent the present as much as they represent like the cycle
Mm.
of life and death in a real way. Wake up, go to bed. Like,
Yeah.
and in between that is your time.
Mm.
And that's what you have to do. Like, so I think they're just that on a, yeah.
Do you think
scale.
death is present on the album?
Yeah. I think a big part of the album is understanding and coming to terms with the fact that gonna, I and everybody else is gonna die, and it's not negative. It's actually that makes it positive, like
Mm.
that. And I think that's like kind of the whole thing for me is like positive existentialism. I think is kind of how I would describe it because yeah, it is present and it's it ain't going anywhere. That's always been a theme in my music. Not always actually. I take that back. Since I started making my own music, like with my little studio and everything,
Mm.
my first project that I did for myself was I sampled the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I sampled just like the kind of the intro where they give you a little overview. I made like a little 3-song, 5-minute thing out of that,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, man, I can really make this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this question. It's a thought that's just occurred to me. We have a lot of language, particularly starting in the 90s, around ownership of a life. Telling people that they don't have a life, telling people to get a life, those kind of things. That's kind of baked into at least the title of the album. But also, I think there's a singularity in amming one's life, right?
You said Amy?
Amming.
Oh, Amy. Okay, yeah,
Being.
yeah.
Um, what does it mean to have a life? What is your life? What is someone's life?
Um, Big question. I think that I think that to answer it in a vague way, I think that it is.
Hmm.
And I think that that's kind of the point. And from there, it's up to you and it's up to everyone else and every individual life that's happening. Um, I think there are things that are universal um, for each life, I guess.
Hmm.
But you said, what does it mean to am?
Yeah.
What does it mean to be?
Yeah. What does it mean to be your life? I don't expect that on Live from the Moon we're going to solve the question of what it means to be, you know?
Well, I mean, if you really want to dive into it, I feel like the idea that I have with it that sticks to me the most is this idea of the infinite self
Mm.
and the duality of this present life that you're experiencing and the infinite self that is attached to that, whether it's the consciousness that's inside of you or it's the thing outside of you that's beaming in your consciousness or whatever the fuck that is, whatever that's coming from, that is creating your ability to have this experience, like on any real observable level. That duality of being is present at all times, can be tapped into, and serves a purpose that is unknown.
Mm.
However, I'm like so big on cycles, big back to the cycles.
Mm.
I think that's part of the thing for me with the splash and creating an arc, and then we can always, the fish doesn't. It's not about the fish birthing and dying. It's about the fish jumping out of the water,
Right.
having a conscious experience outside of its realm, and then diving back into its world. And I think that, in that spirit of having that conscious experience when it does exit the water before returning, there's a lot to be gained there. I would call those lessons. And I would say that if we want to talk about purpose, perhaps, of why did anybody get born?
Mhm.
Well, maybe that infinite self that is existing permanently in the universe has a goal,
Mhm.
and it has to be born to a certain life to experience certain things that will create opportunities to extract conscious lessons from. And
Mhm.
then you can perhaps learn, change your energy, change your trajectory, transcend whatever tier or divert or pathways, whatever it is, not necessarily up or down, it's just different. And
Mhm.
like, well, then you go into a different life, perhaps in the next go round.
Yeah, I mean, purpose implies direction, right? For something to have a purpose, it has to. Your purpose is never for everything to stay the same,
Yeah.
right? You have to jump out of the water and return to the water, but still in achieving that cycle, you've done that directionally,
Mhm.
right? Um, is one of the things posited in this album that death is a purpose of life?
Death is the purpose of life. I think death, um, I don't know if death is as much a purpose as it's an inevitability,
Mm.
which is both real on like a full way, but also on like a character level. It's like things will change. You will change. It has to be a death of a little bit of a death.
Mm.
If you're totally different than you were before. Um, and I think the death element has a little bit more, I would say, to do with acceptance and
Mm.
like not and overcoming fear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Why is the individual so present in your understanding of this?
The individual,
Right.
it's like the individual experience.
Yeah, individual experiences, my life,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Um, well, I think for me it's just because that's the experience I'm having.
Mm.
Um, I can't speak outside of that, but I imagine as everybody else exists, it seems like they're also very much a single thing.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, you know this. I do really freaking love community and I
Mm.
love other people and I cherish the connections between people like truly, like very deeply. And it means a lot to me that people connect with each other. Um, and I think that it's cool to feel how I feel about that,
Mm.
but also be like, at the end of the day, I'm just, I am the single thing.
Yeah, I am only me,
Yeah, that's not it though. That's
only my life.
Oh no, 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 no. Can't be that.
Why
Can't
not?
be that. Now I'm only my life because only I feel like implies a limit in the thought about what it is that's happening.
Mm.
Like I'm only my life. Okay, but like what a almost like what a negative skew to that.
Yeah, I don't. I think that in being individual, there is a boundary. I think that's why I insert that there.
What do you mean by being individual in this case?
The the sense that there is a mind, right, kind of boundarizes our personhood. Um, in everything we do, we can sort of only be ourselves. But I think you are always part of something much larger than yourself. So something that confuses me when people say things like "get a life," right?
Mm,
When we talk possessively about a life, um, it to me pretends that these experiences are sort of uh, that when the fish jumps back into the ocean,
mm,
the fish is swimming in the fish's water and not the ocean, right?
mm, mm.
Um, So I think that there is sort of a boundary to me in the singular based language, right? Um, if the land can be owned, no one has the land, right? If a life can be owned, who has a life? Is our life not as sort of equally dictated by the billions of lives we share it with than it is, our own capability?
Yeah, it is that. It is
Mm.
that. It is that shared experience of here,
Mm.
but it's not the shared experience of self, which
Mm.
is like that's the distinction I would draw. Is that like yeah, we are all here together, and that is like vastly beautiful, and hopefully uh has like an element of like a positive skew.
Mm.
And that doesn't always, unfortunately. But I feel like there's value to be extracted from that like self-identifying like
Mm.
agency of like oh my, and that's part of the I think the death element too is like this right here, this
Mm.
ends, this for sure ends. Well, now it's here. That's the
Yeah.
present is like important for that agency, and then I think it from there becomes about connectedness and like
Mm.
the rest of the ocean. You can be yourself in that ocean
Mm.
without existing like as if that ocean doesn't exist.
Mm. What makes a day beautiful?
Um, well, there's I would I feel like there's two types of answers that for this one. One is waking up,
Mm.
and I think you have the ability to judge the day immediately or soon after arrival that it is beautiful because you're choosing to see it that way.
Mm.
But I mean, I like espresso in the morning and sunshine, and
Yeah.
like if it's fucking blizzard, and but there's ways to enjoy that, and I think that that's part of the idea of that track in particular is that like you can. That's kind of that last line is like love could be the one that you let get away,
Mm.
almost tying it to a person or an experience, but love could be the way that you see the world every day
Mm.
because you could just love being and that's not like a judgment value. That's just kind of like overarchingly like yes, obviously shit sucks and it's not
Mm.
easy to overcome. I'm not trying to say that, all right? I'm just trying to be positive about waking
Yeah.
up, you know what I mean? Like you can start on a positive note.
Who's playing on the album?
uh a lot of it is me, a lot of it is my homie Tom. Tom Messina, Hot Tub Tom Machine on Instagram. Got my homie Dan on there, Planetary Jones, um, and my homie Mike. That's Dan Calhoun, everybody.
Mm.
My homie Mike Batista plays on Series of Days. He
Mm.
plays the guitar on that, like a bass solo,
Mm.
which is pretty cool. I'm in a band with those two guys called Daydream Fountain. Very cool.
Hell yeah.
And then Mike Larry Draw, the legend himself, is on Black Hole Horizon. He took the samples that I had made, that I had extracted, and then he made this insane beat out of it, and then uh, wrote and performed a crazy verse that I kind of gave him a little direction on the over like the idea that I wanted to be presented, and he just blew it out of the park, hit a home run
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah.
I love that song, and he did such a good job. And everybody that did anything on the album did a fantastic job. It was so cool to craft this over time with people. I've been started making the music in 2019, so
Mm.
I made a lot of stuff in and around this album. But this album was the journey. Yeah, very much a journey of its own.
How has it evolved since 2019?
Well, 2019, I just moved home. I was living on the road, working at music festivals, and I had a really cool van that I was living out of, and that was awesome. That's why I really learned how to use Pro Tools and everything while I was living in there. And then I moved home, and um, kind of felt like I just needed to figure that out
Mm.
more and just be like, my goal was to feel to some capacity like I could make music for the rest of my life
Mhm.
without relying on other people. My experiences were mainly in bands before
Mhm.
that, so I didn't want to have to like go through that just to express and create at will. So I started by having Pro Tools open and doing nothing for a long time. I was listening to a lot of Alan Watts lectures. I was getting ready to officiate my first wedding ceremony for some good friends, and then I just like it was actually all right. So it was also my first time microdosing mushrooms when I decided to just pick up the guitar, find some beautiful chords I liked, and just conceptualize like I had written Splash a couple years before. I was like, maybe this is something. Maybe there's
Mhm.
something here like that I would like. So I made some couple chords that I loved, just no click tracks, just let it go for a few minutes. It was really experimenting. It was all an act of experimenting. And then I was like, oh, splash sounds. Oh,
Mhm.
some outdoor ambience. Oh, some bird sounds. And then Tom Messina came over, and it was just like magic was happening. He just plays insane guitar. And I'm like, dude, that was insane. Let's do another one of those. And
Mhm.
now we have these guitars just flying in between each other. I'm creating lots of like
Mhm.
spatial things going on there, and it was really natural and really, really awesome because once that happened, I was like, this is a thing. This is like a thing. Like I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. I had nothing else written, but I was like, this is a thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's where it started.
What's
Like,
next for the Barb?
next. Next is I really wanna put a poetry book together. I feel like I can't believe I haven't done that.
Mhm.
But it's been really nice to be part of the poetry community here for the past year and a half, because it's really inspired me to find my new voice, which is very different than my old voice. Um, so I'm having a lot of fun writing again. Um, but I think I'll probably put together like a collection of stuff that I already have, and then
Mhm.
maybe some new ones. Maybe integrate the art because I've been making a lot of art the last few years. Maybe make a poetry art book. Um, and I got a couple songs written, a couple new ones that I've been working out. Now that I feel like I've been playing guitar a lot more, which is a lot of fun. I think I'm just gonna go back to the studio and start experimenting again. Though that's how it all happens. I feel like the experimentation is like the core value of a lot of what I would describe, I guess, as my sound now.
Mhm.
Is like I really want I really want to have something that sounds like me and not so much like other things.
Mhm.
And I think I did my best job at that. And I'm pretty stoked. And that's kind of the way I've been viewing things lately is like, hey, it's not about it's not about much else other than just really feeling like good about the creation and feeling like, wow,
Mhm.
this is the best I could have done at this. And I really do feel that way. So I'm pretty stoked. I hope it connects with people. I hope it resonates. I hope that, yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep going with some new stuff. I feel like I wrote this. I found a notebook where I wrote a EP like 10 years ago, before I played any instruments, outside of drums, really.
Mhm.
And I just had a whole imagination for like synths and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I could make this now. So I'm thinking about visiting that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. How are we doing on time?
yeah.
About set.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Sweet.
Hey, album comes out November 2nd.
We're gonna have a really weird smash cut now.
Yeah, yeah. Smash cut this.
Yeah.
Album out November 2nd. Now I Am My Life by Reckless Barb. November 1st, if you get the invite to the cacao ceremony, sick. If not, I'll see you on November 21st at Paint Cahos. We're doing a cool album event there, kind of thing. And I'll see you on November 28th, Black Friday, Indian Ladder Farms. And
Hell yeah, the ops.
we're going to
Op
do a
territory.
Reckless Barb Band performance there.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You fucking cold?
Huh? It's not going to be outside.
Okay.
Upstairs is the Pizza Garden.
Gotcha.
Inside.
Okay.
Inside. I heard they do pretty good there.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be cool. Thanks.
I'm sure it's full of wasps. Thank you.
We're gonna
This curmudgeon.
Kiss you haven't. Why are you so mad? I thought that was so funny. I like your idea of like your rejection of self for the whole.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Do you
What?
Well, I just feel like it's hilarious for me because I have such a different experience, but
yeah.
Like I'd be curious to learn more about like your perspective within that. Like so yeah, what are your thoughts?
I don't know that my thoughts are codified in a way that makes sense to me yet.
That's fair.
But I think understanding my own perspective, it's important. I kind of came through like universal destinationalism as a teenager. This idea that like the universe is this huge fucking thing. Like I never really bought into a god.
Yeah.
Around 16, I think sort of early mindfulness practices were kind of brought to me. Right?
Yeah.
I had an art teacher who was dope as fuck, and she sort of started us on meditation, stuff like that. She was also the plug for like weed tips.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which was helpful at that time. And then for me, kind of the turning point was when I was 18, I read Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, which is a story about a religion which everyone knows is fake, but they believe it anyway. And then my grandmother, who I was very close with, passed. And I think that was sort of a huge start for my spiritual journey. And set me down like a larger humanitarian path. Not in the sort of like mutual aid way that a lot of people mean. But in the like a very humanist path. Like I believe deeply in the spirit of humanity at its core. And I think that all sort of set me on the path to engaging more with like Buddhist texts and Buddhist ways of life. So what we had in me was a person. Why is my phone going? Oh, not right now. What we had in me was a person who was already kind of set up to, care a lot about other people. I think my sensitivities are already. I'm a very sensitive person towards other people, and then I had sort of instilled in me an ethic of work and accomplishment and those sort of things. But along with that, for me came desire, which I think even rudimentary understandings of Buddhism understand that desire is a really bad thing, right? Like the Buddha teaches desire as sort of the cardinal sin. So I had to sort of begin the journey of uprooting that, which was difficult because for me, a lot of desire was born of need. Because we live in a system where, because I did not have advantages of class in any perceivable way, I had to and have to work really fucking hard to not die, which is not super dope. But in part of that journey, studying that, you learn a lot of your desire comes from a sort of identifying euphoria and dysphoria.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I still experience those things, and those things are natural to experience. They don't feel sort of off the path for me. Um, but there's also a lot of things that we experience and then make ourselves. Does that make sense?
Like we experience them and then like we hold on to it in a way that creates it over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so many of those, this is a foundational principle of both Buddhism and cognitive behavioral therapy. So many of those things are internal,
Yeah.
right? It's a feeling that I had in response to a thing that starts to culminate in our understanding of ourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talk a lot, particularly in drug culture, about ego death.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really hate conversations with people about it because it's always like, in the ego death conversation, people always start bragging about who had like the coolest ego death.
Right. It feels inauthentic in a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
way. Yeah.
And it's I'm talking to people. I'm like, y'all don't know Nirvana like that. You don't even know the first album. Can you see the baby dick? No. So I think I had to sort of go through a similar experience to what you were describing, of like realizing um, that I am the moment.
Yeah.
But inside of a moment, at least the way a lot of more orthodox Buddhist sects would teach it, um, you have sort of a servitude to the moment to be met, right? Um, I always talk about when I got diagnosed with my cardio thing, I had a struggle sitting in movie theaters because I would lose attention and then start to worry about my heart and then worry myself into a heart problem.
Mm.
So a couple of years ago, when Into the Spider-Verse came out, I went to see it with friends.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And I knew I wanted to sit through the movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I going to handle this? I think I'm just going to watch the shit out of this movie.
Fuck yeah.
So I made it a point to catch everything I could catch, right?
Yeah.
I
love that.
And that to me is sort of, when I had that experience, it was like, okay, I'm going to carry this out into life.
Yeah.
That was such an awakening moment. And such a huge part of that was realizing it's very rare that I have an opportunity to be myself for myself.
Oh yeah.
Right? When in any given scenario, I'm supposed to be someone for something.
Yeah.
Whether it's another person, an animal, the universe. And I worry a lot about possessive understandings of being, because I think we are all still caught up in that sort of vice of desire to say, like, these are experiences that I need to have or want to have. It's like, just wake up and then decide if it's a beautiful day or not. And then work really hard at whatever you're doing, and like, you'll be happy in life, do that,
Yeah, that is the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. That is,
it's just walking
now,
a different path to get there.
Yeah. Now, like in those, it's totally those moments and that understanding that is like, yeah, now you're now in my life. Like, it'll that eliminates the desires and like the things around it. It is like, this is what's happening. This is it. This is actually your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be about like, oh shit, what am I doing? I'm not doing this thing. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not the goal. The goal is to understand that you are here.
Right.
That's good. That's actually the best.
Yeah. I think the only key difference in like how you express that and how I would express that, is, as much as possible, I want to remove the conception of the self as a container for anything other than that moment. We kind of like have to deal with having a brain and being a person. but like the Buddhist belief is effectively when you remove yourself from the mind, you have become not just your life, but you have become life. You've become self-same with everything. This is also present in the German Romantics, but they burned a lot of their cool philosophy when the Nazis happened. So
Damn.
yeah, that's become a life goal of mine, is to say things so radical and cool that when the fascists like really take over, they target me.
That's cool.
You know?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to be the next Tupac.
Interesting. How does being the next Tupac fit in with your philosophy on being so you're so outside of yourself you want to be Tupac?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I can see it then.
Simple as.
But is there a thing? Is there any like underlying like explanation or truth to that of like when you do like if your goal is to be outside of yourself in like every tangible conception
Mm.
of self. That's kind of what you're saying. Like you just want to like eliminate selfhood on
Yeah.
a level that you don't even feel like yeah.
Yeah.
So identity. What do you? So you do what does identity mean at that point? The answer is to just be, and there's nothing else to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's always been something I thought as well. That's
Yeah.
always been a key tenet.
I think insofar as a person has an identity, I would prefer that it's descriptive, not prescriptive.
Yeah.
You should act the way you act and then figure it out later.
Yeah, I agree. That's the act of being.
Yeah.
That's just like you're being no matter what, but you're when you're just that. That's yeah.
Largely, I like to recenter the way that I view life in principle. And sort of acting in accord with what I think a person should be doing in a situation. That to me is a way to sort of remove. I never want that hypocritical moment where I change what I'm saying to fit what I'm doing. I want what I'm doing to be sort of present in the way that I think about it. And I want to be able to default in a situation to acting the way I think a person should act. Right?
That's interesting because then acting the way a person should act, I feel could be a slippery slope in a way to I mean, so does that mean you have the correct answers for that? Or does that mean that like you are no longer yourself? Or like what does that equate to? What is the way a person should act?
You certainly, I think at the moment where you think you have all of the correct answers, you've become wrong. But in searching for those answers, because the question should come up, if you are always acting the way that you think a person should act, um, all of your actions become determinate the moment that you have all of those answers. Right? That is a sort of nirvana we can reach. Um, because once I'm taking out all of my moldings of a thought or an action and instead just acting in accord with that principle, I no longer have to think to be.
Yeah, I suppose. But I'm what are you basing those constructs of how a person should be on? Like is it based on history? Is it based on your experiences? Is it based on other people's experiences? What is that? Where's that coming from?
Yeah, I mean, it's a piece of everything. Um, I think for me the biggest thing is principle. It's just sort of knowing the results that you hope to achieve.
Right.
Um, and then understanding one of the great hypocrisies of modern life to me is I think everyone sort of presents a principality. We say like these are the things that we believe.
Versus like acting and being.
Yes, there's always a dissonance to it.
Yeah. Well, and you can feel that, I think, from people when they're being.
So I'm just sort of always, I think one of the big things to me is freedom, which feels like very American. But I find like the idea of imposing a rule is so disgusting to me. It like makes me want to die. So I'm like always looking to live in accordance with allowing people freedom, allowing people compassion, and that sort of thing. Like one of the big things that rewired me was just like, if you live a life of kindness, you live a better life. And I think a lot of people have a tendency towards kindness when kindness is easy, but don't necessarily look for kindness when kindness is hard. And the more in my life I take the time to find kindnesses and live with them, the better I feel. 100%. When I get caught up in, trying to be a writer or a podcast host or whatever, that can feel great. It can also feel fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Never felt bad helping someone carry the groceries in,
100%.
Just every time I've done it, I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. This is the only thing I should ever be doing.
Yeah. That's how I feel about, sometimes I think about the life of like planting trees and just doing that as like that's the full-time job.
Yeah.
Just literally planting trees. I'm like, I think in terms of good, if I had to put a word to it, that seems like a good life. That seems like a net positive, doing something for the greater wholeness of the future and Earth. That's good. I hear this perspective. It's interesting to think about. I think I overlap in certain ways. There was a point when you were talking about it where I was just thinking like, oh, so you basically, without having a 10 Commandments, are like, and following a Jesus figure, are like just trying. You really imagine Jesus, like more than like you imagine like your homie, and like, oh, how would my homie behave? You're like, no, how? What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus
do, guy?
Yeah,
and that's cool.
Effectively, I think a little bit more malleable than that, but yeah,
because you're not like, what would Jesus do? Well, in Genesis, whatever. I guess not Genesis, but
it's just about finding sort of harmony. You know?
I think so. Just to bring it back to like your original thing, I feel like it actually has a lot to do with just you have this underlying vibe essentially that you're curating of being that's like, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can at all these moments, which is how I would phrase it, I think, versus I guess trying to do like the best that anyone could do. I would think I'll just do, I really want to do the best that I can, even if it's not totally clear. I think that like the slant towards kindness and love makes it so that you can naturally trust that angle of operating. And then the only way to really do that is to have that undertone. And then I think what you were describing is like, but really it's that freedom of thoughtlessness of being in that, like you exist that way. You aren't like observing everything with this like, oh shit, well, how would this be if the ultimate human or person or concept could behaved in this thing? It's more like you have that undertone and that skew, and then you have that it allows you that freedom to operate that way, which is sick. And that's what I'm saying. That's why that's why I keep coming back, because I just feel like everything you're saying, I'm like, oh yeah, that actually seems very overlapping.
Yeah. I do think you need an exterior force pushing you.
What do you mean?
Like, I think as good as it is to root in your own capabilities and not sort of weigh against, like, what if I was Jesus? It becomes easy to do things that are easy, and it will never get easier to do things that are hard. So, insofar as we only weigh against ourselves, we tend to only do things that are easy.
I think that depends on who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people have a naturally better or easier time with it. You know.
The keyword that I think is like absolutely quintessential to the operating system
Mm.
here is uh growth in a way, because I think when you do have that as part of the pillar as well,
Mm.
you do approach things from like you will
Yeah.
take on the difficulty, and you
Yeah.
will, and then I think that leads to so many other trains of thought that surround that, like responsibility and all these
Mm.
other discipline, these types of things that like become tenets over time, I guess,
Yeah.
or naturally depending on who you are. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting, dude. It's interesting. I really like hearing your angle, perspective, if you will.
Hell yeah.
Can
Hell yeah.
I hear your Vic one time?
Yes, you can. It is another tobacco vape be prepared.
I'm just gonna let one rip pretty hard, and then it's gonna like cough us out.
I was live from the moon.
It's true. Eric doesn't worship Satan. I know that
That's yeah.
the community at large was worried, and I want to encourage people to come to poetry night. It's not spooky. It's not satanic. It can be if you want it to be, but not because of him.
Listen, if you think I'm evil, figure it out. Give a shit.
Am I evil?
I don't think so. I think, look, if people
said
want to
it.
think I worship Satan, that's chill. They can do their thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Why? How did this come up?
I don't know.
I just said it because I feel like
Feels like something someone would say though.
it feels like something, doesn't it? It does,
Yeah.
right? I think someone probably said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, who said that?
I know.
Which one?
People are afraid of poetry. People are afraid of vulnerability. Maybe. I ain't judging them for it. Yeah, thanks.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for exploring. I'm down to explore this type of shit anytime. I actually really enjoy it. I feel like it's enlightening, and illuminating to hear. This is the type of shit I love, the perspectives,
Mhm.
and I love relating to it, and also not relating to it.
It's always like interesting to me. But like I tell people that I'm a Buddhist and they're like, "Oh, do you do psychedelics?" And I'm like, "No, I'm like a spiritual Buddhist. Like I like follow the tenets." And they're like, "It opens your fucking chakra." And it's like, "Yes, and also the fucking Buddha told you not to do that all the time." Like he was like, "Please don't imbibe drugs. It fucks up your ability to do things." So for those reasons, I'm always like a little bit more scared to talk about it because I have found what happens, and I think you get some of this too, is you start talking about like existential philosophy, and then people are like, "Oh, I need to show you my little existential card," and it's like, bro, you like that's on network TV right now.
I want people to scream. I want people, yeah, because
Yeah.
because I feel like that's what I think is like this whole thing about like people not being like for real about it.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, go just scream. Go. I want you to go
Yeah.
right there and just literally yell and show me that you're like alive in a way that like is like visceral to your like core, because you exist for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real.
I think people want their like good card. I don't know. It was worse for me in college where I think like
You should
people
do
were.
mushrooms, bro.
I'm good. Like genuinely.
Good.
I have yet I have yet to meet a person and like talk to them about mushrooms and feel like it's an experience that I need for like the growth of the mind.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
know?
I don't know if it's about the growth as
Mm.
much as it can be about the. Well, there's many ways to do it, but feel like I feel like if you're struggling with the positive skew, it's good. It can be really good to do in like just even small times. I feel so good about tripping lately.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I did nothing crazy. I just did a little, and I just had some of the best days ever. Thanks for letting me rip that, dude.
No problem. Yeah, I think that's another like anti-Jesus part. Is I tell people how I choose to live,
Mm.
and then there's like always the feeling that I'm like, this is how fucking everyone has to do it. Like, keep doing mushrooms. Mushrooms are
think-
dope. Not for me.
I don't think I think Jesus would be more like you with that
I would hope so.
in reality.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
Hold the phone, book lovers. It's a double whammy from Hell Yeah Lit Publishing as they celebrate their very first year. First up, it's Mid-20s by Eric Turner. 120 pages of raw, emotional, angsty brilliance straight from the heart. And don't miss Paper Moon Magazine Issue 4, a dazzling collection of poetry, prose, and art from over 20 local artists. Snag them both today at hellyeahlit.com. That's HELLYEAHLIT.com. And get your hands on some bold, fresh, and unforgettable. Let's get into this outro. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Reckless Barb, for stopping by and filming as you do always. Eric, that was an amazing interview.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Are we getting worried about the fascists shutting down our means of communication with each other?
What?
Like network television, okay. But then like YouTube. And then like that's like where our podcast is coming out on. What would be like the alternative to like YouTube, or like what's next for us? Because it seems like we have to start thinking about alternative means of like sharing media.
I would guess like tape trading. I think it's part of why we're seeing paper come back.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any genuine threat though. I gotta be honest. I'm like breaking down the internet infrastructure. The only way that you could theoretically remove all of those things is just to destroy all of the internet infrastructure. Which would be an insane project that our current fascist regime is really poorly set up to do.
Right.
I'm interested to see how long they can be fascists here, because there's like 50 states in the United States, and that's just way more ground than any fascist regime has ever covered.
Mhm.
And also they only care about money. So the problem is like YouTube is way too profitable. They'll try and like censor us or whatever, but I'm just surprised people cared about Jimmy Kimmel. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I had to take several steps back because like my first reaction is just like, oh well, who was watching Jimmy Kimmel anyway? He's like, and like he was he's a corporate shill anyway. His job is to have a semi entertaining show that appeals to people who want to buy commercial time.
Yep.
His whole point isn't like, it's not like generating laughs for nothing. It's like, which we are doing. It's like he's making like an okay TV show where it's like safe for like Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Yep.
So, but at the same time, it's like we got to think about the people that are being employed by the Jimmy Kimmel show, and the whole system that he's helping, like the ticket takers and the guys that are working the video, and the editors and the writers. Like it's already hard enough for like writers to get a job, but like if we don't have these shows where like white guys are like talking about the news in a funny way, it's like, where are they gonna go?
I think the news white guys can figure that one out. You know what I mean?
I know. And it's like and I think it's like, all right, good, yeah, shut them down. Let's come up with new things.
Yeah, like there's so much space for new fun shit. So
right.
That's how I feel about the government shutdown too. Like it's such a funny threat to me as like such an anarchist leaning person. I'm like, yeah, please do that. What are we talking about?
I know, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Let's see what happens. It'll be good.
Right. Yeah, like as of today, as of taping, I think the government is still shut down.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're 24 hours in,
Right.
something
And
like that.
so, yeah, how was your day?
I didn't even fucking notice. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I had like a pretty good day today.
yeah,
People were bringing in things for me to look at,
yeah.
and I mean, Staples is still
You
there.
get any
Like Staples.
get any interesting VHSs in?
Actually, I did a lot of horror movies, a lot of noir. I'm a huge noir fan.
Mm,
I just got like a huge tape collection from this person that like buys out stores. So that's always fun.
hell yeah.
going on going on Facebook Marketplace hunts. Like
Mm,
so far, like had a meet up with somebody in a Stewart's parking lot.
yeah,
Met up with the VHS tapes as this British person. Cause like you never
oxymoron.
know who you're talking with online is gonna be British.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always, it's always surprising. It's just like the first word that's like, hello. Do you want, like, whoa?
Yeah.
And
Like,
then,
yo, you gotta
okay,
stop that.
yeah, you gotta stop that. But, yeah, like as somebody who's like spent their whole life in alternative media, like literally just like finding ways to get my art out
Hmm.
in means that are not corporate. Um, like, yeah, the fact that Jimmy Kimmel went off the air for a day, it was not frightening at all.
Yep. Yeah.
There's like if they like shut down RPI radio, like yeah, all right, I would be kind of scared. Or like the our friends at the independent media
Hmm.
um place. Yeah, if they try to shut them down. But then it kind of dawns on me that like because I've worked in alternative media my whole life, I really don't know the rules
Yeah.
of, of like anything. Like, yeah, I've released albums with that should have parental advisory stickers on it. Would I get arrested for not putting a parental advisory sticker on like a CD that should have had it?
No, the FCC has lost arrest power now.
Right, like how much power do they actually have? And it's like those things where like should I know?
I was, I guess, funny rhyme. I was working overnight, and I was rewatching an HBO docuseries called The History of Comedy,
Mm,
which I just do occasionally. And their first episode is about censorship in comedy, and specifically, they focus a lot of time on Lenny Bruce, who kind of opened up comedy to the ability to swear. But they tell this story in, I think, 1953. I could be really wrong about that year. Lenny Bruce gets on stage at a New York comedy club, and he does a bit where he's imitating a priest. He's like throwing the microphone out like holy water, and he's talking about like shit and dicks the whole time, but he's not speaking into the microphone. And he gets arrested on stage um, because they say he's imitating the act of masturbation.
right.
And he gets arrested and practically blackballed, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and there's this like liberal talking point that's like, oh, like our First Amendment rights are being infringed in a way they've never been before, except in all of the rest of American history when this also happened to everyone, you know?
Right. No, yeah. Yeah, it's like really yeah, it's really insane
Yeah.
because yeah, like all the time things are being censored and like um and it's not really surprising to me that like a big corporate TV station is going to censor something. And but that's like I don't know, is that the kind of like the privilege of like working in alternative media or we don't even think about at all
No.
like censoring anything we do. Pretty much is it do we consider it good or bad art? And that's pretty much what we're censoring, I guess. We're
Mm.
yeah, we take the minute or two to say, yeah, our audience, will like shield your eyes, audience, from this bad
Yeah.
art. uh,
I've been thinking about a lot, sort of what the next phase might look like for me, and
yeah.
just trying to figure that out. Um, I think I do want to pursue sort of the next level of education just to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Um, but like you mentioned earlier, I sold out a print run of a book. I'm gearing up to do it again. I've got some ideas on how to keep doing it, but I live a life without masters, right? Like I own the place where I work,
Mhm.
which is really dope, and there's just kind of no imposition on me, and sometimes I'm reminded what I'm like when I have to do a thing, like show up to a class on time. Like you think I'm curmudgeonly now? You should fucking see me with a 10:30. Like it's not a good time. Um, and specifically with regard to like how the art operates, I think some part of me is like, oh yeah, let me get like a book agent and try that out. But then I work with my coworkers and I'm like, damn, the thought of passing off what I do to someone else makes me want to shoot myself. um how could I ever possibly, because the art doesn't begin and end with the fucking piece of art. It's the art, the packaging, the approach. Like um finding your audience, I think, is part of the art to me. Like
Right.
imagine going to a Ghostface Killer show and it's like all kids from Shenandoah High School, right? Like that shit would fucking suck, right? I went to the most segregated Ty Dolla Sign concert of all time in Clifton Park, New York. And part of the failure there was that Ty Dolla Sign has a team who sells tickets. Ty Dolla Sign wasn't just making shit the way he wanted to. Um,
But that's kind of, I mean, that's like part of his audience.
yeah.
Like, I mean, and then as far as like American audiences go, like, there's way more white people
Oh
in
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
country. So that just kind of, that's gonna, in certain parts of this country, that's who you're gonna see in the
Well,
audience.
that's how it happens. And look, I realize my own hypocrisy. But like I've never seen Birth of a Nation, you know. Um, and I to me it's just about sort of creating an atmosphere, and how those things function, and the lack of mainstream media to challenge an idea. Um,
Yeah, I think yeah, the first thing I thought is like, great.
yeah,
Let's move, let's keep it moving, let's do other
yeah.
things.
If you burn
Let's
it down, you can build new stuff.
right?
Yeah,
I love that. And
yeah.
there's and the kind of like the reason why I've like never left this area either is just like I've never had anybody or venue owners. I've never been censored by venue owners. Um
Can't say the same.
well,
you know,
well, that's kind of, yeah, that's like that's the journey,
yeah.
that's the journey of the artist, and just like, yeah, finding a venue that just like is not down with it. So then you kind of,
Yeah.
it
I
yeah,
mean,
check it off, cross it off the list, and then we're finding new
there's also,
venues.
listen, I appreciate that I am the most radical person in a lot of rooms. But yeah, I mean, but my perspective is get crazy with it,
Yeah, no, I think
especially the way, like you existed when Columbine happened. I was a sperm, you know?
right.
Um,
And it was interesting, like in the 90s, kind of yeah, you would get sent home from school if you had like a Marilyn Manson
yeah,
shirt
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Um but I don't know, that's
We had multiple teachers in my high school who were like, I should have a gun in case I have to shoot one of the students. And then people are like confused by Zoomer disenfranchisement. I'm not putting up with this shit. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
Fuck Jimmy Kimmel. Like, you know?
Yeah, no, for real. And like, yeah, it's flip floppy
Yeah.
organizations. But it's like I'm not even it's not like an enrage like I'm not like enraged
Yeah.
by it. It's not like making me like burn the pitchforks just because like I know so many artists that have survived off of like way less um like national like sponsorship
Yeah.
or whatever. It's I guess yeah, it all comes back to finding your audience. As long as you have a great audience behind you, like you really don't have to
Yeah.
worry about having to yeah, sell your soul. And it's like another like conversation that we have to like bring back up like in the 90s like sellout
Yeah.
was a real thing, but then shoot to like 2025 where your favorite artist is like that's part of their shtick. They're like going on stage and they're selling something. You go like in on TikTok, like you're getting 1,000. Your goal is to get 1,000
Right.
followers to be like 1,000 customers
Mm.
of like what is it, the drop ship?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Where you're trying to sell like a miniature air horn. Like if y'all guys ever see me online trying to sell like a miniature air horn, it's over. It's like
Something I've been thinking about to return to being barb coded is you know, I used to live a very ambitious life and set a lot of goals, and I still do crazy shit. I'm very motivated by doing things that seem impossible. That's very fun to me. Um, but now I think I'm realizing slowly over the past couple months that I can't set goals. I have to find them.
Mhm.
Um, like insofar as I used to set goals around how much of this product can I move, how big of a venue can I play, um, but like on the level of my soul, I don't give a fuck about those things. So I'm like trying to figure out what the fuck that means in a world where I want to be an artist and have to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of leaning towards just becoming the world's number one air horn seller, and I'll just write books on the side.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely ways. There's definitely ways to get around it. Um, there, yeah, you don't have to become the best air horn seller. It just takes a lot of work that a lot of people are not willing to do. It's just because there's been, you know, it's not it's not really up to us really to like dismantle this system that's been going on since like for like 100 years.
Mm,
We're jumping into like 100 year like Mad Men.
yeah,
And it's not just like it's the people that we want to like show our art to.
yeah,
They're already like being conditioned. So yeah, it's just hard work. It's just
yeah.
because of like the history of the world that we're just like living in. And so I feel like as long as you're willing to do the hard work, you're we are not.
You're hitting us with the Kamala right now.
Yeah.
We did not fall off the
No one
coconut
wants to
tree.
work anymore. I know, yeah, it's easy to go on there. I feel like it's easy to go out and sell the miniature air horns,
Mm.
but it's like tough to go online every day and like rip open your soul and just like
I think also this is something I want to focus on in the coming months, but I think a lot of artists could um, stand to have a better understanding of sort of that market and culture and how these things function, and how to exist inside of it in a way, uh, using my English major words again. I think we all tend to facsimilize the industry, because when a person doesn't know what to do, they Google it and they follow what Google says. And Google will always be descriptive to the things that happened. Um, a common thing in business books, like, I only read high-level philosophical ones because anything tactical was written by a person who used to be doing it and isn't anymore. So I think the only way to approach these things is to look at sort of the approach and the universal principle of how art functions or how a market functions, and operate in accordance with that and your ability to manipulate that with the tools given to you contemporarily. I really, really hate weekend tours. Like, you'll see local artists be like, "Oh, I'm going on tour," and they're touring. It's like shows Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon for 3 months. It's like, that's awesome. That used to be a really cool way to do things. How many of those are actually like taking conversion actions though? Right? If you did 3 shows a week every week, you're doing 156 shows. If you do 156 shows and 3 people at each show stream your album, and 1 in every 10 of those people becomes a fan, you would need to work 3 shows a weekend for every weekend for 10 years to make a scrap. That might be a cool way, like, that can be resonant to a person. It will never ever make a living. You're talking about putting 30-40 years of work into finding a minimum wage base, and I don't think that's how it has to be for artists.
Yeah, but still, it's like, even that, like, what you just described, that's kind of like, yeah, that's the dream. I just spent 40 years, yeah, playing
Yeah.
music and creating art,
Yeah.
and like, um, waking up on a beautiful day.
Hell yeah.
And that waking up on a beautiful day is like, yeah, no gods, no masters. And this weekend I'm going on a
Right.
3-day tour.
In this hypothetical I've created, though, the reason you're weekend touring is because you have to keep a job the entire time,
yeah.
right?
You
Like-
eventually have to, I don't know. Kevin Hart talks about it, go all in.
Yep.
Yeah, there can't be a plan B, really. And yeah, it's scary. I'm currently in like a no plan B situation, and yeah, I just like, yeah, trying to find my audience. But hey, in the meantime, it's hella fun getting to chat with everybody and like
Hell yeah.
sharing information.
Shout out Barb. Shout out the guy who owns Paper Moon.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Hell yeah.
Definitely doesn't have shady VHS anywhere. But cool. Peace out, y'all. See you at the
Peace.
next episode.
Hell yeah.
Big up, Reckless Barb. Go stream that album.
Yeah.
And catch him on the next weekend tour.
Drink some cacao.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that.
Good shit.
Hello, everyone. What a beautiful night for poetry. Eric told me I could write some songs, so that's what I'm gonna do. Whatever happens tonight, just remember that the yellow lab was built by legitimate elves who ate way too many apples. And they really love to talk about it like we get it. You like apples, they buried their seeds under your feet. So if you see any elves, you should tell them to take a shower. Just kidding. Eric told me to mention the elves because they've been in his dreams lately. Anyways, here's an ad. Paper Moon, it's the Paper Moon. Need some cool books? Look no further than the Paper Moon. This is an unpaid advertisement. Paper, 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 moon. That's the end of the song. Just kidding. Hello again. Did you guys see the Mothman? I hear he was waiting on 4th Street. He's big and he's sweaty and hairy. Has the scent of a million mall kiosks and only eats hot dogs. So you can imagine how musk from a mile away is the Mothman. He likes to hang at Paper Moon. Paper Moon.